I'm here in Las Vegas. I came to visit my friend Justin to shoot some stuff, some video projects, and thanks to him, I'm doing a podcast for the first time. So this is the first CROIG podcast. I don't even have a name for it, but I wanted to bring on Mr. Mike, Majik Mike, as a first guest of honor. Not really sure where we're going to go with this, but we're going to have some good conversations and just take a dive into how he became a builder and all things motorcycle related. But yeah, we're gonna have some good talks.
Right on.
Thanks, Justin, for not forcing but encouraging me to do this podcast. And if you have any name suggestions, let me know too, because I'm for now it's just going to be called the CROIGCAST. And of course, with it being a cafe racer social channel, we're gonna talk to a chopper builder first.
Makes total sense.
Makes total sense. So, Mike, thanks for inviting me into your shop. I saw this shop about 2 years ago and was blown away by it because it's just, I think this is just kind of like a good representation of the inside of your mind. Like all your bikes are out here, just the way you have everything done up. And so I knew that, you had a beautiful mind.
I'm an artist.
Yeah, you're an artist. Yeah,
that's basically
in many
what it
different
is.
ways. Yeah, and over the years, I feel like I've started to learn that more and more. Even most recently, I didn't even know you DJ'd, and this is actually the first time I've noticed all the graffiti on the walls too. So we're gonna have to take a deep dive into that. But I did try to, write some notes down to keep this structured.
Yeah.
And so to begin, how did you get into motorcycles? Like what was the start of all of this?
I guess it really goes back to if I think back deep, motocross. So when I was like in elementary school, motocross was a big thing for me. I liked seeing the magazines with the guys doing flat tabletops and just their colorful uniforms and everything. And so I just remember when I was a kid, when we go to the library, we're supposed to pick out books, right? I was always the guy just checking out motocross magazines. And I would always kind of get talked to about it because it's like, that's not a book. Mm-hmm. But that's what I was interested in. So they kind of would just, for some reason, they just let me read these books, and I would have to do reports on some of the stories even in those. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool that my teacher let me do that. But that's probably the beginning part of it. Then next thing you know, it's like, obviously BMX, running around the neighborhood with all your friends. And then you get older and then it's like, all right, well, let's find something with a motor, Mm-hmm. So we go find this little Honda Trail 70 at a garage sale. And so we all pooled together, got that. And then, we destroyed that thing.
It was just like you and a bunch of
it was just neighborhood kids. So it basically was like, it was like maybe 4 or 5 of us. We were all within a year apart. Mm-hmm. And there was a motocross track by our house. So we would just take this thing over there and, this was just a clapped out fucking, yeah. We would just take turns doing laps, and that one day, I remember, I don't know what happened. Somebody hit a jump, it tipped over, gas line must have happened, and the thing started on fire and just melted everything, And so that, at that age, it's like, this thing's done. So we pretty much just left it. But yeah, and then after that, it was like, I don't know, I was, into going to raves and DJing and shit. And then after that, it was like crotch rockets, street bikes. This is my early 20s, 20 years old, 21.
Did you go into, or I guess as a kid, did you think that you were just going to start building motorcycles?
I have no. That still was never my plan, even to this day. But it's just kind of funny, like as you think about it and you just kind of go through it, it's like the stages kind of just really do develop who you are, and what you're around. But yeah, and so then eventually it was like up to Harleys, and it was like I rode a Harley once, and I was like, it's obviously bigger and heavier than a street bike. And then it was obviously choppers hit the TV, so then you got your biker build off and all those, and Orange County choppers, and you start seeing all these people building these motorcycles on TV, and you're kind of like, this shit's rad.
So up until then, you hadn't tried to build
I was never a wrench.
Yeah.
I never was like, I'm going to take this, thing apart. Obviously when that one bike broke and burned, we just left it,
Right.
know. So no, I wasn't really a wrench at all. And yeah, and basically went over to I actually got a chopper. That's another story. So I ended up buying this chopper, and my brother was like, you need to go over to this dude's house. My friend's brother, Steve, he builds bikes over there. So I rode my chopper over there, and I just remember it's the only driveway on the whole block that was just gravel. I could just see where his priorities were, and it was not the house.
Yeah.
So I look in the garage, and it's like 2 lifts, bunch of choppers, like in build stages. These aren't like complete bikes. These are fucking bikes like in pieces. So then I was just like, dude, that's rad. This is like what they do on TV. Like you can just do this in real
So like
life.
your first taste of like a garage.
Yeah, it was a
builder.
straight up garage built
Yeah.
like chop shop thing. And I was like blown away.
Yeah.
Like this was real. It was like in front of me now. So I just remember like looking around, just looking what tools he had, and it's like a little chaotic mess in there. But yeah, and then after that, I mean, Steve asked me to move in over there. I hung out with him, and next thing I knew, I moved in and started helping him after work. you
Cool.
know.
So that's like your mid-20s ish?
When I was 23.
23.
Yep.
Cool. And then you mentioned DJing. Is that how Majik Mike became your DJ name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I actually didn't know that, but
So, all right.
How
So
did your
when
name
I
come to
was
be?
DJing, my
Yeah.
DJ name was not Majik Mike.
Okay.
It was Abstract.
okay.
So I played like a techno style house music. So it was like an abstract sound to me, and so that's why I chose that name. But anyway, so there was a DJ, Majik Mike, who was pretty popular, and so when I moved into Chopper Steve's house, he was out in the garage working, and it doesn't take me long to set up my equipment. So I set everything up and plugged everything in, and right in the living room. And so I remember he came back in, and I was like plugging in the last couple things, and all I hear is, "What the hell? Who are you, DJ Majik Mike?" And then
That's how
I
it's
turned around and I was like, "Yeah, like I have all this too." You
Yeah.
know, he didn't know. And so then basically it was like, after that, they were just kind of like calling me Majik Mike as like a nickname over
Gotcha.
there.
I have a DJ name too, and it's freshman year. My friends they had this DJ company, and they did a lot of like high school dances, college parties, and stuff. And it was just something that was fun. And I basically just helped them set up and stuff. And they're like, "Well, you got to have a DJ name." I was like, "Well, you like motorcycles, so we're gonna call you DJ Handlebars." And I never DJ'd or anything, but they're always like, "Handlebars, get over here." So I have a DJ name, but I do not DJ.
We're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll practice back there. But that's cool. Okay, so then what was your first chopper? Like
My first chopper. All right, so, and all right, so my dad was gonna ride to New York, and I wanted to go with him, and so.
And you are a Wisconsin
Yeah,
native.
this was when I lived in Wisconsin
Okay.
still, and so my dad wanted to ride to New York. I wanted to go with him. I told him I was gonna go look at a Harley because I wasn't gonna ride my street bike, and I just couldn't find a Harley. I'm looking at the dealerships and.
In Wisconsin?
Well, at Racine and in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there, I'm just like going and looking at all these stock ass bikes, and it was nothing I wanted at all, like far from it. And they were trying to talk me into a soft-tailed Deuce. It was like, this is the one that's like the customizable one for what you're looking for. Now I'm talking to these sales guys who are obviously just trying to sell a motorcycle to me, and they didn't really get what I was looking for. So anyways, and so I'm driving down the street, riding my bike around, and I went by this custom shop, and this purple flamed chopper was in the window. Fat tire, raked out, spoke wheels, solo seat, just a beautiful motorcycle. And I'm just like, that's what I want. So I went in there and I asked the guy, like, how much is that? And he's like, $22,000. And I was like,
That's a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
But the price for like those bikes they were trying to sell me were like 18-ish.
Oh, so you're almost there.
So now I'm just sitting there and I'm already doing the math. I'm like, all right, here's $100. Don't sell that bike. I'm gonna go try and find the rest of this money. So I actually went to the bank, and I was working and got the loan by myself, and all I had to come up with was like $5,000. So I gave them $5,000. They cut me a check for the rest. Went and bought that motorcycle. rode it to my dad's, and I just remember the look on his face was like, that is not a Harley. Like, what the fuck is this? Right. And I was like, that's a chopper.
Yeah.
Like, that's way better than a Harley. And so instantly it's like I ripped the blinkers off, took the horn off, all the little stuff that I didn't want on it, and then took off to New York, came back and ripped that thing apart and just started working on just what I could change.
The first like build in a way too?
It wasn't like a build because I'm just like ripping stuff off.
Was this pre Steve?
Yeah, this is like this is right before I met Chopper Steve.
And then this is
so
the
then
one
when
that
I
you
wrote
rode
so
to
then
his
after
place.
I like took the blinkers off and thought it was cool already, then I went to Chopper Steve's.
Okay.
And so then it was like, yeah, I bought this a week ago, or you know, after I came back from New York. But yeah, so it was like, yeah, I bought this, you know, a month ago or whatever. And then he was like, oh, that's cool. You know, he didn't really like be like, that's bad as hell. He was just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I realized like he's doing the hand build stuff. Like I just bought this thing, you know. But yeah, from there, like that first winter, tore it all the way down and just started changing shit right away.
So that was that like your first taste of like
that was my first wrenching
but
experience.
also like built not bought, and you're like, oh,
well,
like
I
an
feel
inclination of that.
I feel like I wasn't even like
you weren't even there yet.
Remotely the built not bought person at all.
Not saying you were, but it's more like
for me it was like you had to buy that first initial one,
sure,
and then you get your hands wet and you start digging in the bike and you start learning how the things work, how to take the things parts off, and you know, because Steve had to coach me the whole time. You know, I'm like, I don't know what, like I'm trying to take a stem off a front end. I didn't know like how this worked, you know, and yeah, after a while it was like, you know, reverse threads on a transmission, just all the little things that you learn. Like I learned what to do over there and I learned what not to do over there.
Gotcha.
So
then would that be kind of the start
absolutely
of your, I mean, choppers and customization, 100%. Building, and then, you know, how long did it take for you to get to where you're at? And
that was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm 46 now, so that's half my life. You know, so I've been doing this for half my life already.
Just only this full time? Well,
no, I would say, no, I mean, I had a sales job. I was a sales manager for a construction equipment manufacturer. So that's also what transferred me out to Vegas. I was a Western rep.
Gotcha.
You know, and then COVID happened. I broke my leg and like shit just went to hell. And then I started working accounts customs. And then after the show over there stopped, then it was kind of like I had enough work over here. So I just kind of build my bike.
So it's just like a slow.
Yeah, it's just like a whole transition. Like I'm still in transition.
So building was really just, it was a passion, as a hobby, and you just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I that's all I thought about all day long anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even when I did have a normal work job or schedule, like everything was still
Think about what you're going to
taking
do
an account of my motorcycle shit. You know, like when I'm doing sales calls, I would try to arrange where bike shows were, where I'm killing kill two birds with one stone. If I have to go call on customers, I might as well do it that week, you know, or I might as well go do it that week, and that way you can just kind of hit these spots while you're there, you know.
Yeah, and I've met you years ago now, and then we've obviously been to a lot of different shows. You know, what were some of the earlier shows that kind of got you even pulled in more into like the custom scene?
The early bike shows. So I would say like, so they used to have the V-Twin Expo in Cincinnati. So that was like 2004, 5, 6. So that was a trade show type of thing. So it wasn't really like a...
Is it like an AIM Expo type?
It was like that, but for times 100
V-twin?
for the V-Twin. Yeah, this is like the internet was like there, but like we weren't
starting.
It wasn't like it is.
It's old school internet.
Old school. So you had to go to these places and see these parts, and people were, it was worth them to buy these booth spaces. And so everybody and anybody was at the V-Twin Expo. And so now I'm seeing all the dudes that were the biker build off guys, you know, like your Indian Larry and you know, Arlen Ness, like everybody was there. But I do remember the Limp Nicky lot. So this was the area of the show where there was just fencing, a half pipe, and just cool raw ass choppers with young dudes in there and just hanging out, drinking beers, and I'm looking at all these rad bikes, and I'm like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff's cool out there,
But like this is.
but this
where you wanna
is
be a
the
part of.
shit.
Yeah.
So like bare knuckle choppers, Lead Sled Customs, Nash Motorcycle Company. They had these. It was a collective booklet of all these handmade chopper dudes in the scene at the time, as a collective group of younger people doing things. Junior from Mama Tried, like he was a part of it, and I would say probably 50 guys. And you'd flip through these books and they'd have all their little parts that they had available. And so that was where I was shopping first. So if I wanted something, it was going to be out of that little pamphlet that I found at the V-Twin Expo.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to buy...
Because there's like the old timers and the young guys.
Well, like Performance Machine,
Right.
or like, you know, like Extreme Wheels or
Yeah.
RC Components. So you had those big companies, but yet then you had these little garage built dudes where it's like they're making their trees on handmade mills and shit type of thing. And it was just like the vibe. So that went on, and so then it was just like, those were like the dudes,
Yeah.
you know, and like now I'm friends with all these
Now you're
guys
friends
now.
with them, yeah.
But yeah, so like back then, like that was the shit. Like those were good times.
Yeah. And how do you think that chopper culture or motorcycle culture has like evolved, like what, 20 years later now? I mean, it's a big question, but like how do you feel like the chopper world is these days? Do you think that they've held like stayed true to kind of like those roots of like that, you know, to what originally kind of enticed you and drew you in?
A lot of people that were doing it back then aren't around really right now.
Okay.
So, like whoever could survive through all of the 2008, 2009 era and break through, like those guys are all still relevant. It's cool to see where they're all at today. A lot of guys fell off. Now, if you were to talk about like chopper, like elite built bikes, like your Born Free bikes and stuff like that, it's definitely grown because of the internet. It's in your face. So a lot of people start to get inspired. So a lot more people want to start doing these things, you know, and there's a lot of talented people out there that can do these. There's a lot of, I've seen your one-hit wonders. You know, a guy will build a badass bike and then it's like, what happened to that dude? You know? And so this isn't for everybody. You know, like everybody's got families or day jobs and it's not their priority. It's in my blood. It's just, it's a ridiculous sickness that turned into this. Like,
yeah, so these are all your personal bikes, right?
Yeah.
And what I love about your bikes is it's very distinctly you. Like all your builds are meticulous. I love like the stance and proportions of all your bikes. And I wonder, like, even with the purple flames, is that like the one with the purple flames, was that, you know, you mentioned your first bike, like the one that drew you, like, because oftentimes,
okay, no, that's a good point.
like, did you,
No.
like, how did your style evolve to what it is?
I mean, I kind of still just stick to what I liked anyways. Like I was a BMX dude. I love BMX. I still think about all them bikes that were in the Lipnicki lot. So if you go to look at what a lot of guys are building now, it's a lot of bikes that are created in like the 60s. In the 50s, and so you got guys that were doing choppers. Your David Mann paintings, for instance, you know, they have these certain styles. You know, the ape hangers, the sissy bar, you know, the Wazzle tank, and so like there's that formula. A lot of people are taking that formula and just making it super nice, like where every little piece is immaculate and looks great. And then you have guys that are just putting them together where it looks like that hardcore ass fucking chopper that it was back in the day,
Like a patina.
like with all that,
yeah.
and you know that look can be created too. So now it's like kind of the thing where it's like a lot of these people that are building bikes now are influenced heavily by that David Mann era of the 60s and 70s style bobber choppers, if you want to call it.
You think that's the current?
I think that's obviously the current thing, because like it's obviously hard to do new stuff too. So for people that keep trying to bring something new to the table, there is a lot of ingenuity and creative stuff. Like I'm just gonna, for instance, Chris Grave, for instance, built a rigid frame with 1-inch travel. Like, how do you do that? So if you look at how he did it, your mind's gonna blow. That wasn't accessible. Like, nobody was gonna do that back then because they didn't have the shit to do it. I mean, you could probably figure it out, but nobody's gonna do that. And so like, there's ingenuity of guys like that that are still just doing stuff that's mind-blowing and cool.
And do you think that you will always stay chopper? Have you done other types of custom builds? Or do you think you're gonna just continue to stay in like the chopper?
I would prefer to do what I like to do because you're probably gonna get the best work. If somebody kind of micromanages me as like, here, like, this is kind of exactly what I want, like, can you put it together for me? Like, yes, I'll put it together for you. Is that like my claim to fame? Like, hey, I built that and designed that and that came out of my head? No, I can't say that. I would just say, yeah, I put that thing together. But like, some of these bikes were nothing, and you sit there and you just look at them and you stare at them, and then you just make all the modifications to make it what's in your head.
Yeah. And then are you only Harley?
Yeah, specifically.
Mostly,
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really keen on working on any other things.
It's just what you.
It's just
what you
I have all
know
the parts, and it's like I'm not just gonna dive into something.
I mean, okay, so building motorcycles, obviously that's a creative outlet, but then again, you've got this graffiti and everything too, and then with you DJing, like what other creative outlets do you have? And then like, is there a point, are like choppers kind of like where everything kind of merges together?
I think it's just art altogether. So yeah, when I'm DJing, it's mixing music. You're taking 2 records, playing them simultaneously,
trying to make things work,
making your own song basically with 2 records. And your transitions, and it's kind of like you got to read the room, you got to know what to play, and so there's like a little art form in that, and as far as like what you see on the walls around here, I was into graffiti when I was a kid, but it wasn't like anything I was gonna like grab spray paint cans and go out and be an artist on the trains or anything. But when I moved to Vegas, a guy named Richie, his name is Scene, and he had a motorcycle collection of like 109 like vintage choppers. Like that was one.
And that one too?
This one's one. That was one.
Yeah.
And so I have some of them in my shop, what he kept, because he got rid of the collection. But I became really good friends with Richie, and he's an OG, fucking godfather of graffiti. I mean, if you're into graffiti, you know who Scene is. So yeah, so being friends with him, like he's given me artwork. A lot of it's like one-off stuff, obviously, like that door over there, that panel, and so I have a big diverse collection of like his artwork, and like I just love it. So like I'll grab street signs around town or whatever, and he's doing thrown-ups on all the street signs that I bring him, like no big deal. But
cool. Now, as far as all the builds, like how many have you done?
How many have I done? Well, like if you just ask me how many bikes I built, because I worked at Counts Customs.
Sure.
I helped Pat at
how many
Lead
bikes
Sled.
have you truly done?
How many bikes have I done like for myself
For
out
yourself?
of my head?
Yeah.
I'd say probably 20 or so.
Cool.
You know, I have a good portion of them still. There's some that are out there, but as far as but they were always for something too, for the most part. It was either for the hot bike build, or Born Free, or like the In Motion show. So there was a couple things that I built bikes for specifically.
Do you feel like you've hit like your? I think I know what your answer is, but like, do you feel like you have hit like your creative peak, or is there like a way that you continue to kind of push boundaries? Do you just try to refine your craft, or like what?
I hope not. I mean, obviously, you're always going to learn. You got to be available for opportunity. You got to put yourself out there. You got to just be around. I love being around this shit. And so like just being around opens opportunities. And if you're a good person, and karma's going to take care of you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, In addition to the builds, I mean, just motorcycling in general, where have motorcycles taken you? Like, why? I mean, obviously there's the building part, but obviously motorcycles also provide a lot of like
there's
freedom.
a community out there,
Yeah.
and so with all the rallies around town and all the people I've met, it's not every show, but there's times where I get paid to go to these shows now where they want me and my friends there.
Or for you to DJ.
Or in Milwaukee I was DJing last week. But yeah, so it's like there's times where you'll go to rallies and you kind of have some responsibility because they're going to pay you to be there, so you got to be there, be hanging around, help with their social media, give suggestions on things that they could improve on or whatever, and so like Four Corners Rally, that's one of them. Chip and Trevor, those are good guys. So the Four Corners show is growing. So you got like the NorCal show. So you got Bobby and Aaron Green up there that are helping put that one together. The Sturgis. So we got events going on there with like Bikini Beach with like Lead Sled and Harley-Davidson. And so that's like a fun one. What do we do? Like the Hot Bike Tour. I've always been part of the Hot Bike Tour. And after this year, the guys from the Motorbike Expo from Italy, they invited me to go out there. So we went out there last month or 2 months ago.
Yeah, that looked really fun.
That was a blast. That was so much fun. And then, just other opportunities like Sosa, we went down to Mexico City a couple months ago to the Compass Custom Show. And then in May, Christian and I are going over to Bangkok Hot Rod Show.
Yeah.
So
hopefully I'll join you guys.
You're going to be there for that.
Or I'm going to be there.
You'll be there.
I'll be there.
And so, so in May we got that going on. Mm-hmm. And I'll hit Arizona Bike Week. Mm-hmm. That's in 5 weeks. But all of March I'm just going to stay in the shop, But yeah, the years usually are already kind of laid out. I'll never miss Mama Tried. So that's February.
Yeah.
Never miss Sturgis. We got the Hot Bike Tour. I'll go to Party at the Pen later in October.
I want to check that one out. Have you been?
No, but the Hot Bike Tour is going from Four Corners up to Boise because it's a week apart.
What are the dates on that?
It's going to be Labor Day Monday.
Okay.
Labor Day weekend is when we'll leave Four Corners and then we head towards Boise. So you got, I think it's the 11th or something. Cool. May 11th, or not May, but September 11th.
The motorcycle events that you go to and the motorcycle events that you're planning on checking out, the Hot Bike Tour, have you spent a lot of time on the road? Like, have you done motorcycle road trips or like?
I wish I rode a motorcycle more.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm stuck building them. I love building them. I don't normally just get up and go do a random ride, but the Hot Bike Tour actually like makes you do that.
Yeah.
Like we just did, you build a brand new bike and go smash 800 to 1,000 miles on it over a week, and with a bunch of friends that don't hit the road as much as they'd like to either.
Yeah.
But no, I don't ride enough. Like I'm not going to be the guy that's like, hey, dude, I'm just taking off on and riding to the East Coast.
Yeah.
I have an FXR, but I don't have a bike to really do that on.
So then, with the building, what do you have planned for the Hot Bike Tour
For this year?
Yeah, for this year.
I think what I want to do is it's going to be a bike for me, but I won this raffle paint set from Tony, and so I don't have to worry about paint. I already have a set of wheels. I'm probably just going to hardtail a Shovelhead frame. I have a motor and transmission and belt drive, so I'm probably just going to like piece together just like one of the bikes I was saying, like this little like a David Mann style little bobber, 60 style little chopper. I don't have one, never built one. I'll still have it like my flavor. I'm not gonna like go buy all the little doodads and make it like all super period correct, but it'll have that stance.
Yeah.
And then just smash that thing.
Cool. Now, as far as, for someone that is trying to get into this, right, building choppers specifically, or just, I guess, building in general, like you had your starting point and you had your inspiration, like, do you have any kind of advice or any words of like, encouragement or inspiration? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say get into it for the right reasons. You know, if you really love doing this and it's part of you, and then I would say yes, it's worth doing because that's part of you as a person. But for somebody to get into it for like the wrong reasons, like it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of like, I mean, it depends because it's like, do you want to do this full time? Do you just want to do this as a hobby? But my thing that I would always say is like, don't get off the beaten path. Like if you want to start a bike, like start it and see to the end. Yep. You know, I know a lot of guys will pick up another project and then pick up another project, and now you got 4 or 5 projects that are all half done, and you're a bike builder, but you never even built one yet. You know, you're just dabbling in all the works of it all. So for me, is what I would tell somebody is like, come up with a game plan and just like stick to it. If you're paying attention to what everybody else is doing, you're gonna get sidetracked, or you might get like discouraged a little or something, where it's like, just do you. Stick to what you want to do and finish it, because enjoy the process. You know, we all want it done. There's times that you're going to do shit that you don't feel like doing. Just bang through it, because you got to do that part before you do the fun part, you know?
Totally. And obviously you build all the bikes that you ride, and what's your take on like newer motorcycles?
I mean, I'd ride one. I'm not going to go buy one.
Yeah. But I guess what would, if you could have, or buy, not buy, but if you could have like a modern bike,
yeah,
what would you choose?
I would take a brand new Street Glide.
Street Glide.
You know, I mean, it's the biggest bang for your buck, and it's going to get you wherever you want to go, and it's going to be super comfortable and something that I would never be able to afford. So if I can get one someday, you know. Then
you'll go cross country.
Oh yeah, then the option's there.
Yeah.
You know, but the option's not there right now.
Because most of your bikes are hardtail, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I did a swing arm Shovelhead too, but they're all small gas tanks, and you know, I did ride these on the hot bike tour, which takes you across a few states when you're doing it. But yeah, you're stopping and getting gas, and you know, you usually got somebody behind you carrying all your shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not gonna ride with a backpack on, and
no,
like it's not comfortable.
No, it's not comfortable.
So if I can just ride with everybody and have a chase vehicle like that, that's ideal.
Yeah, gotcha. And then I am curious because you see all these bikes, and then I notice that there's a trike in the back. What's the story with that one?
The trike?
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So in 2013, Jeff Holt came through Racine, Wisconsin with the Power Tour. So this is right before the first build off for the hot bike tour. And Jeff saw 3 or 4 of my bikes that I had built down in the area. And so then he was like, oh, you did all these, you know, and then we exchanged numbers or whatever. And then I got a text from him, and he was like, you want to be a hot bike builder this year? And I didn't know what he meant or what. I just knew I was in this build off, like, all right. And like I agreed to it, not really knowing I was agreeing to at the point. And so I was just like, all right. And then bam, I see the list. And it's fucking like all the big dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then there's
what am I getting myself into?
Then there's me on the bottom,
Yeah.
like at the end, and I'm just like, how the fuck did I get on this list? So then I'm thinking, there's no way I'm gonna build a motorcycle that's gonna like beat these guys or whatever. I was like, so if I just do something odd, I'll at least be known for that. So
first hot bike.
So that's my first hot bike tour build. So I had the rear end already. This is a DFT rear end trike kit that that you could buy for FLHs. This is before Harley was even putting trikes out of the factory. So you had an option where you could buy this trike kit, take your rear swing arm off your FLH, you bolt this thing on, and basically, you know, you're removing your rear wheel and putting this kit on, and now you got a trike. So I had that rear end, and I'm looking and I'm like, if there's ever anything that's gonna ever get me to build a fucking trike, it's gonna be this.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna build this trike. And I told a few people, not many, I told a few people I was going to do this, and every one of them was like, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't do it. Like, trikes are gay.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I know this one's going to be cool though. And so then I just didn't listen to what they said, and I just stuck to it. And so I made the frame and made this rear end like part of the frame, and yeah, all the tin work. You know, I had a buddy back home. I made the shape of the tank. And
Was this done in Wisconsin then?
I built that in 2014.
Okay.
So I was like, and so then my buddy Dan Weiss hammered out this gas tank for me after I gave him this buck, and then I made the rear end and the oil tank and all. And it was a twin cam motor with like an Evo case, and it had a Springer on it. So I just put this trike together, and you're supposed to put updates on the internet. That's part of the deal. I didn't put the rear end at all. Everything was like
Just the front.
gas tank forward. Like, here I got a Springer, here, check out my paint. Here's my motor. And so then I just remember like rolling into the hot bike tour on this thing and just like parking it with all the other builds. And I think they all looked at me like, you're not supposed to park there, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't know who I was,
Yeah.
and they didn't know about that bike or the trike. And I just parked it there, and I started sitting at this picnic table with my friends. Didn't know none of the builders, dude. And I was just sitting there, and then I think it was Brian from TPJ came up and was like, "Are you Mike?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I recognize the gas tank, but you didn't say that you were doing a trike." And I was like, "I didn't." And I was like, "This is the unveil of like what I was
That was
building."
your magic trick.
That was it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, bam, extra wheel.
That's
But I didn't
awesome.
want to hear the backlash.
Yeah, you don't want to
I
get
just I
comments.
wanted to kind of just like keep it a little secret. I didn't want to like show my whole hand. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Is that kind of your take on just all your builds? Do you prefer to kind of keep it under wraps?
Nah,
And
not
then-
necessarily. I mean, before when Instagram was different,
Yeah, because
like
you could
not-
only share so much.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
mean-
like blogs basically. Then.
Yeah. So like now it's like, you know, I can post stuff as I'm going.
Sure.
But I probably don't post as much as I should.
Right.
As far as the builds go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll show
Until
them.
now, because now you're gonna start doing more
We'll
of your
see.
progress videos
We'll
and stuff,
see.
right?
We'll see. But yeah, so it's like I'll show the bike, you know, what I started or a couple things I'm working on. I'll show it all done raw before I take it apart, and then usually when it's all done,
Yeah.
you know.
Cool. And I think you've mentioned that you're doing 4 bikes this year, and it's already March, yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to try and get one done for a customer for Four Corners. I want to get another one done for Sturgis, and then I have my hot bike build that I want to finish, and one more that I'd like to finish.
Like to finish, okay.
But like
that's not
those
first.
3 are
At least
like
3.
I want to try and make those 3, make those deadlines.
Yeah. And you've mentioned, basically finish what you start rather than keep on picking up more and more projects. Like
Yeah.
how do you stick to that? How do you like stay motivated?
Well,
to
it's time
finish it?
management too.
Okay.
So
And you
as
think
long,
you've gotten a good grasp on that?
I mean, I haven't missed a deadline yet.
Okay.
So if you know when your bike needs to be done, you got to allot time for your painter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't screw him over because you didn't get it done sooner. Like I try to get my paint to him as soon as possible. That's a big one because if the painter says he's going to take a month, it's going to take 6 weeks. So I want to eat those 2 weeks for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll bust my ass to get shit for the painter. And then I can worry about the stuff that I'm doing while it's getting painted, the engine work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just time management. Kind of just figure.
I feel like time management though can be really hard. Bike
It-
build
it
or anything
is.
regardless, like for creative people.
You just got to keep going.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah.
So like, let's say if it's like, all right, I
Do you like
this,
write it down or is it just
lifts start to
Yeah.
form later,
Okay.
not where I'm at right now.
Gotcha.
But like, let's say it's like, all right, that should take me 4 hours. And now let's say you're 4 hours in and you're only halfway done. Like you got 4 more to go.
Yeah.
Like you better bang out that job and then just finish it.
Just get it done.
Just finish it. At least get to a certain point and then go to bed. You know, because like, I work at night a lot too. So like my bedtime reminder on my phone is set for 3 a.m. So that just tells me start cleaning up and try to be in bed by 4. Because if I can pass out at 4, waking up about 9 or 10.
I think we were on the same sleep schedule.
It's just like that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't get the people stopping by in the night. I have a lot of traffic during the day, a lot of shit I got to do during the day, where it's like I can't even focus on my stuff, like putting the earmuffs on and like actually working, you know. So that happens like 8 to 4.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately.
I mean, like you said, less distractions.
But I take a nap between, like, let's say the 6 and 8, you know, so it's like,
To keep you
it's
powering
just,
through
yeah,
to the
there's
end,
no way I can go all day and just like from 4 hours of sleep. So if I can just get like a couple hours rest, and then it's like, all right, get up, make sure your shit's ready to go, clean up and start working.
Cool. So while I'm doing this, I have very, very incredible friends in the moto world that they have incredible stories too. And that's kind of the point of all of this, is to start telling more of those stories and figuring out how they started, what inspired them to just get into 2 wheels, to make the mistake of getting into 2 wheels. But yeah, first episode of, at the moment, tentatively, CROIGCAST. All right, so there you have it. Be sure to like and subscribe, because there should be more, and I would love to find out who you'd like me to talk to, so put that in the comments below. Until then, peace out.